It's past 12:30 a.m. as the Miami Heat just dominate the Golden State Warriors 114-102, and I had to get y'all a video. Haven't posted a post-game reaction in like a week or so. Took a little bit of a break for Christmas, but break no more. Just like the Golden State Warriors are no more. There was a time where they used to strike fear into the opponents. Not so much anymore, as they shot like, I don't even got to check, like 12% from three today. Anyways, if y'all watching, I appreciate you. All the real Heat fans are up right now. Like myself, I'm standing up to keep myself awake. I already took my contacts out. Can't see nothing. Everyone in my house is asleep, like I was saying. But that was a fun game, and I was not going to be recording if they lost. So thank God they didn't blow another fourth quarter lead, because like the rest of y'all, the Heat were up like 15 going to the fourth quarter, and I'm pretty sure we all thought it was going to get close, but it never did. So anyways, I got a couple of notes here, so I want to kind of go through and discuss everything we saw tonight. The first one is I want to reference this tweet from Barry Jackson, aka Basement Barry, aka Petty Barry, whatever you want to call him. He basically had a tweet, and I'm paraphrasing here. He said, if Joe Cronin is tired of watching his sorry ass Trailblazers get blown out by the even more sorry ass San Antonio Spurs, then maybe he should tune into the Heat game where all the young guys that he thought were terrible are balling out, because that was the theme of the game tonight. As I was watching the game, I'm just thinking, oh, what's going to be the title for this video? What am I going to talk about? And at first you had Bam being aggressive. You had Jaime Jaquez driving to the basket. Eric Reed dropped the bar saying if he wants to drive with Jaime Jaquez in Miami traffic, the way he cuts through traffic, something like that. It was a bar. So shout out to Eric Reed. Then you had Jamal Cain explosion. Then you had Nikola Jovic coming to the game, a guy that I kind of forgot who was on the team, I'm not gonna lie to you, and play awesome. So we'll kind of get into all these guys. And yes, I should mention Tyler Herro, who I thought was very, very good tonight, who a lot of people think I'm a hater of. And I don't hate Tyler Herro. I haven't hated anyone on the Heat since Mo Harkless, just to set the record straight. So anyways, let's start with Nikola Jovic, who finished the night. Let me pull up the box score here with 18. That was Jamal Cain. Nikola Jovic tonight in 19 minutes finished with 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block. Where to start with Nikola Jovic? This is like his 5th game this year. All of them were on the road. Hasn't seen time in a few weeks, few months, maybe a couple months has it been. And he did have that, article that came out. Or he was getting interviewed in an article. It was in a different language. A lot of it might have been lost in translation, but he basically said that he doesn't like the way he's being used on the Heat. He thinks he's a guard. He wants to be used as a guard. Now, when he did play, I felt like they personally let him bring the ball up the court a lot, but obviously he wasn't getting that much run. Well, tonight, the man got run, and the man played point guard. I even saw times Bam got a rebound, and the first thing he did was look for Nikola Jovic coming down the court, and he was everywhere, driving to the lane with that little George Gervin finger roll, attacking the basket, finding mismatches, finding Kevin Love inside, finding guys back door. He was amazing tonight. And this is what we saw in FIBA from Nikola Jovic, and it has me very excited as a Heat fan. And on top of that, the defense was good. Like I said earlier, he had a steal and a block, but I think for the most part, that's why he wasn't playing these last 20 plus games or so. But tonight, he didn't look lost out there. He was rotating well, and he was even matched up on Steph Curry for one play. Curry was forced to pass the ball. He was very good defensively. So it's nice to see that the guy's been putting in a ton of work since he hasn't been running. He hasn't been pouting. He's just putting his head down and getting to work. And I think that is the reason why Jimmy Butler loves him. Obviously, I should mention tonight, didn't have Jimmy, didn't have Jay Rich, didn't have Kyle Lowry because he wanted to rest. I don't know what he's been doing out there that he got to rest. But anyways, Jimmy Butler was still at the game tonight, and every time Nikola Jovic made a play, Jimmy was the first guy jumping up, celebrating, dapping him up. Of course, Jimmy drove like all the way from where they were playing the Bucks to see them play in the G League just to watch Nikola Jovic. So very clearly, Jimmy loves him some Nikola Jovic. And if a kid is not working hard, Jimmy will not mess with you. So for him to love him that much, he must be one of the hardest workers there. And I didn't even mention on the defensive side, Jovic drew a charge today on Steph Curry. So when you talk about a guy who earlier in the season we said was very bad rotating, was very bad IQ, to draw a charge on a guy as shifty and smart as Curry, that is a huge development to his defensive awareness, which maybe is a sign that he'd get more playing time sometime soon. I know this is just one game, it doesn't necessarily mean a lot, but it was very promising as it was a huge jump from the last time we seen Nikola Jovic, whenever the hell that was. Let's talk about Jaime Jaquez tonight, who finished with 17 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, all in 38 minutes of play. What can be said about Jaime Jaquez that hasn't already been said? He can do it all out there. We saw the passing in the fast break, even in the half court setting. We saw him driving, putting his head to the basket, spin moves, up and unders, pump fakes, hitting the 3-point shot. I don't even want to talk about him that much anymore because he's becoming so consistent. One of the most consistent players on the entire team. And it's the same thing every night, which is just awesomeness. So there's really not too much I can say about it. But a guy that I can't talk a lot about is Jamal Cain, who finished with 18 and 6 tonight in 28 minutes. He is looking to be a guy that can kind of do everything on offense. Now, we'll talk about the defense real quick because he was amazing there as well, stripping guys, holding his own, great on the point of attack, staying in front of his man. He has the athleticism to do that. We kind of knew that about Jamal Cain. But he looks so refined offensively, which is really how he's going to be a true rotation player in this league. Used to be not necessarily a little bit of a zero on offense, but just kind of a guy that could only score because he was athletic, get a few dunks, a few lobs, that sort of thing. But he's shooting the ball very well from 3 this year. His form is impeccable. He gets up so high on his release, and the follow through is so pure. Am I the only one that thinks Jamal Cain has like one of the best forms on the entire team? It just looks so beautiful to me. And tonight he was getting into the mid-range. He was attacking the basket. He really tried to get that 20th point. He missed a couple bunnies at the end. I wish he could have gotten it, but still easily the best game of Jamal Cain's career. And the fact that he was dominant, not dominant, but he was really good on both sides of the ball. He looks, again, very, very promising. Did I mention anything else about any of the young guys here? Not necessarily. Those were kind of the 3 that really stood out. You know, Jaquez, Jovic, and Cain. They were awesome. Now for the resting Kyle Lowry tonight, RJ Hampton did get the start. He's a guy that I'm not as high on. I was peaked when the Heat first got him because we know the Heat like to get these undrafted guys and turn them into great players. Well, RJ Hampton was a first-round pick. He was a guy that, especially in high school, was looked at as having a lot of talent. So I was wondering what he could sort of bring out of him, you know, because he's a guy that was much higher rated than all these other undrafted guys that they got. I don't think he's that good. Obviously, he's only been with the Heat for a few months now. That can change. The defense is there, but he's a guy that looks like a zero on offense. You know, he I guess you could kind of say he looks a little bit of what Jamal Cain was last year. Very solid defensively, athletic, but a zero on offense. He looks funky when he dribbles, sort of looks like Hayward Highsmith offensively last year before he got some time to really develop his game. So no slight to RJ Hampton. He hasn't been there that long, but he hasn't been great. I'm not as excited about him. But again, I mean, he did play 24 minutes tonight, finished with 7 points, but he is what he is. He's a two-way player. He's not going to get a lot of run going forward, but hey, never know. Maybe he's here next year and he can kind of get better after that. To round up the starting lineup, Highsmith didn't really do much tonight. He only played 18 minutes, but I really like what I saw from Bam and Tyler. Bam was super aggressive early on. He only finished with 17 points on the night, but he was aggressive from the jump because he knew that this Heat team needed it, missing Jimmy, missing Lowry, missing all those other guys. But as the game kind of went on, he did what Jimmy Butler is very good at, which is kind of feeling out the game, getting other guys involved. If guys are hot, if guys are shooting well, he keeps feeding them, and he did an awesome job of that tonight. Only finished with 4 assists, but he was letting the other guys cook. He was getting the ball to Jaquez in the post. He was giving the ball to Jamal Cain in space and letting him make a play. So I love what we got from Bam tonight. And then coming to fourth quarter, he got his buckets. He said, okay, we need some buckets. Chris Paul's getting hot. Warriors going on a little bit of a run. Let me go to work. And last year, he had the mid-range jump shot last year, right? he was not backing dudes down and doing little dream shakes fading away. At least not as consistently as he is right now. And that's what we saw today. That's what we've been seeing all year. That is so tough, and that is a very clear sign of an improvement in his game, and I love it. Tyler Herro also tonight hit some big shots late to kind of stop the run. He kind of did the same as Bam, was aggressive early on, played well, shot well, finished with 26 points tonight, 10 of 18, over 50%. You'd love to see it, especially after he was terribly efficient last game. But he also did a great job of getting a feel for the game, and I love to see that from him as well. He had a great game and what continues to be a very great season for him. I'm curious to see how that continues once Jimmy Butler returns. Who could be next game? They play Utah on Saturday, so we'll see what happens there. Didn't get too much else from the bench other than the guys that we mentioned. Kevin Love, I thought, was great tonight, as he's been all season in his limited playing time. Didn't really need much from Duncan Robinson tonight, and that just kind of rounds out the rest of the game today. So that's pretty much all I got on the Heat side. On the Warriors side, Steph Curry, geez, that guy was terrible tonight. I told Will not to bet the over. It was at 27.5. He took the over. That boy's stupid. Curry ain't even finished with half of that. What Curry finished with? He finished with 13. Now, the Heat typically do a good job clamping Curry, but I knew today, missing Jimmy, missing J-Rich, missing Caleb Martin, the defense might struggle a little bit. Maybe Curry would get hot. That was not the case. And also, Andrew Wiggins only finished with 11. He's a notorious Heat killer. So I did take his over, which did not hit. But I was shocked he didn't go off, and I was glad he didn't. Even though Sarge had 10, I felt like he was a lot better than that. He's a notorious Heat killer too. But for pretty much the most part, the Heat held everyone on the Warriors in check. So defensively as a whole, they continue to be great defensively, no matter who's in the lineup, which is just a sign of a great, really built, well-rounded, and deep team, which is why I keep saying I have so much faith in this squad come the postseason. Now, there was one player I do want to mention. If y'all didn't see or you did see, let me know what you think, because I'm confused. Basically, Klay Thompson shot a 3 in the corner, and at the same time, Nikola Jovic ran through a screen. So they reviewed it to see if the shot came before the foul. Typical. And when they reviewed it, they said that the shot came, they said that the shot did come before the foul. But Klay Thompson was out of bounds when he shot, so the bucket was waved off. But it was Warriors' ball because of the foul. So if you said the shot came before the foul and he was out of bounds on the shot, isn't that a turnover? I was very confused. So if anybody watched the game and saw that, maybe you can explain it to me, because I just don't get it. But I've been rambling for enough time here. It's almost 1 a.m. by the time I edit and upload. So if you are watching, if you did get to this point, I do greatly appreciate you, because I'm doing this for y'all. So if you could please leave me a like and subscribe, it does go a long way in helping me out a lot. The Miami Heat play the Utah Jazz on Saturday. I will be busy after the game, so no post game then. But I will be watching. I'll be on Twitter sharing my thoughts. Probably follow me at Anthony_Heat. And until then, I'll see y'all next time. So peace out.
Look, pull up in your city tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.